The Michigan Sports You want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about sports in the state of Michigan?
You can't handle the truth!
Well, we're giving you the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, the show that provides research and statistics about all the Detroit and Michigan sports teams, whether fans like it or not, and detects, exposes, and reveals actual and hidden facts and truth that the mainstream media doesn't want you to know. No junk, no entertainment, no homerism, no slappiness, no coddling, no pop culture, no conspiracy theories, no opinions, no shilling, and no fluff. Head over to our website, themichigansportstruthpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter, Periscope, and Instagram at Michigan_Truth, and like and share our verified Facebook page, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. Also listen to us on Spreaker, CastBox, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts via iTunes, and Spotify. The Michigan Sports Truth Podcast does not represent or defame any of the teams it covers, nor does it represent or compete against any mainstream media in the state of Michigan. It is also not for entertainment or debating purposes. It only detects, exposes, and reveals honest, actual, and hidden truth, facts, and statistics about them. And it is for every sports fan's own good because the truth is out there.
And welcome to another episode of the independent edition of the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast. I'm Taylor Phillips. Follow me on Twitter, Periscope, and Instagram at DT2Phillips with 2 L's. Let's get to it. Something's really been killing me personally about this whole thing on the Red Wings, so I seriously have to get this off my chest. There's a similarity and a difference each between the two rosters. Actually, a similarity and 3 differences. Let's start in chronological order with the 2002 Stanley Cup champion Red Wings. In the 2001 offseason, they picked up superstar players Dominik Hasek, a Vezina Trophy winner, Luc Robitaille, and Brett Hull to help out the likes of current general manager Steve Yzerman, top goal scorer Brendan Shanahan, the man that we're still waiting to get his jersey number 91 retired atop the rafters, Sergei Fedorov, multiple Norris Trophy winner Nicholas Lidstrom, and of course, the Chili Man, Chris Chelios. They finished with the best record in the NHL and won the Stanley Cup by beating the Carolina Hurricanes in 5 games with a 3-1 win on their own home ice at the historic Joe Louis Arena. Brendan Shanahan scored the cup-sealing empty net goal with 44.5 seconds left in the third period. He ended up with 2 goals in that game to finish that series strong, by the way. In that game, in general, as a whole, the Wings never trailed. In fact, they led for almost 40 minutes of the contest. They didn't score the game's first goal until early in the second period, and their head coach was the great Scotty Bowman at that time. Bowman ended up winning a total of 9 cups. Now let's look at the 2008 Red Wings. Most of their players were different, of course, but they still had a few players that stuck around, such as Lidstrom, Chelios, Kirk Maltby, Chris Draper, Darren McCarty. That's the grind line right there. Dominik Hasek, Tomas Holmstrom, and even Pavel Datsyuk. But a short list of the newest players back in 2008 were Henrik Zetterberg, Nicholas Kronwall, Justin Applicator, and a returning Chris Osgood, who also won Stanley Cups in 1997 and 1998. But the 08 Wings couldn't clinch their cup on their own home ice at Joe Louis Arena when their lives depended on it. In Game 5 of that year's Cup final against Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Wings fell behind 2-0, came back to lead 3-2, then gave up the tying goal to Maxime Talbot with 34.3 seconds left in the third period to force overtime when Osgood was in net. And then when young Yuri Hudler took a stupid penalty, the Penguins capitalized on their power play. I believe it was, who cares? And the Penguins won the game in triple overtime 4-3. Of course those Wings would still win the Cup in Game 6 on the road in Pittsburgh, this time by hanging on to what was again a 3-2 lead. Mike Babcock was their head coach, winning his first ever Stanley Cup as an NHL head coach. So why were the 2002 Red Wings better than the 2008 Red Wings? There are 3 reasons to prove why. Because the 2002 Red Wings had more and bigger superstars on the roster, like I pointed out, Hasek, Hall, and Robitaille. Shanahan, Yzerman, Fedorov, Lidstrom, and Chelios. Their head coach, Scotty Bowman, was more legendary than Mike Babcock, and Bowman treated his players with more respect than Babcock did overall. And the 2002 Red Wings clinched their cup on their own home ice in a Game 5 by hanging on to their lead in regulation, unlike the 08 Wings. Sure, both Red Wings teams finished their regular seasons with the best records overall in the NHL, but those are the three differences between the 2002 and 2008 teams. The advantage in all three differences clearly goes to the 2002 Stanley Cup champion Detroit Red Wings over the 08 Wings. And the 02 Red Wings were the best roster, at least in our lifetime. That's all I have for this short installment of the Independent Edition. Check out our show's website, the MichiganSportsTruthPodcast.com. Like its verified Facebook page, the Michigan Sports Truth Podcast, and follow its Twitter, Periscope, and Instagram at Michigan_Truth. I'm Taylor Phillips, signing off. Follow me on Twitter, Periscope, and Instagram at DT2Phillips. Thanks very much for listening and sharing and downloading, and remember, the truth is out there. TTFN, ta-ta for now. Hit him with a hind. I rest my case. Stay safe, everyone. Black Lives Matter.
The Michigan Sports Truth Podcast does not represent or defame any of the teams it covers, nor does it represent or compete against any mainstream media in the state of Michigan. It is also not for entertainment or debating purposes. It only detects, exposes, and reveals honest, actual, and hidden truth, facts, and statistics about them. And it is for every sports fan's own good because the truth is out there.
Mission complete.